glance through some of that. Northern Brothers have controlled the ball really well, completed their 6, and then got good kicks in and turned a lot of their opportunities into tries when they've been down the right end of the field. Waitemata Seagulls, however, that'll be one of the things I think they'll be picking up on inside their group out there while they're having a chat, and that's around some of the handling errors. I've got at least half a dozen, 8 of them here I can see. And, when the big boys are trying to roll down the field, and as you've rightly said during the first 40 minutes of commentary, they're doing one off the break, one off the ruck. And, they've got a wee bit of size there. And, that's just a matter of whether they can maintain that strategy for another 40 minutes, because the Northern Brothers look like they're a fairly fit side, and I think they're going to be travelling at the same speed they were when they kicked off to the last 40 that we watch now.
Waitemata's enthusiasm very good defensively. They've been getting there in numbers. The contact's really good. They probably just need to find a way to be a little more organised in attack, and it does look a little bit clunky right now from the Seagulls, but 40 minutes to fix that, and no doubt the halftime chat with Mahara Campbell will have helped things as well. He'll no doubt switch things up a little. So interesting to see what we find in the second half here. It's round 1. Things are always going to be a little tough. You'll be blowing out the cobwebs, particularly through that first 40 minutes. So I expect Waitemata will improve on the ball in the second half. And for Northern Brothers, well, really they just need to keep doing the things they are doing. Probably guilty of a little concentration lapse midway through that first half there, which let Waitemata back into the game. So they want to fix that up. But other than that, looking fairly sharp on both sides of the ball. And you made a good point, Troy. Their fitness looks really up to scratch right now, particularly for round 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was something that put them in good stead last season. As we get ready for the kickoff now, Seagulls go deep into the Brothers' 20, and that's a handling error, and very rare that we see one of those.
So, a horror start for Northern Brothers. It was Piratupo who came up with the error, and this is going to give Waitemata now the chance to strike early in this match and really own the momentum in these opening exchanges. So an unfortunate error there off the kickoff. He's had a pretty good game, has Piratupo.
Just a side note too, Corey, the sun was up first thing this morning, and man, it was extremely hot out there, and I'd say the burn factor coming in now, especially in the later part of the afternoon, some of the big boys are certainly going to feel it.
So Tago to feed the scrum, and they go straight out to Iai Atoa, who's taken 10 down, middle of the park. Falumu looking to his left, and that is the way he goes. And now they straighten. This is the benchman, Falkafa, who has been excellent. Scored a try, and every one of his carries has been fairly impressive. They've shuffle play on now. Northern Brothers scramble nicely. Birmingham Campbell is the dummy half. He jumps out, but Northern Brothers are up to task that time, and they drive him backwards. John Fye involved.
A little bit of frustration there from the Seagulls. They'd shaped up hard out on the left-hand side here.
Falumu, short ball. There it is. It's almost a carbon copy of the first half try. The same 2 players involved. It is Nanov Falkafa who scores, and Dom Falumu once again. And Troy, you get the feeling they may have been practicing that one over the off-season. That looks fairly refined. And at that man's size, always going to be hard to stop him from close range.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here for the Fox Championship. Now, they were shaping out to the left here. There was a big call on to actually move it there, and he flipped that back inside, and big man across the line there, and the defender was still getting up off the ground after the try had been awarded, so he obviously felt that one. And you have to wonder now whether this is going to put gas in the tank for the Seagulls.
And Mahi with a fairly straightforward conversion as well, so we should be at a 22-16 ball game in a few minutes' time. A few seconds' time, I should say, as Mahi lines up and hits that one, and flags are up. So it is Northern Brothers who lead 22 points to 16 over Waitemata. 2 minutes gone in the second half. back underway off the boot of the brothers. Contact crept up a little there, but play on as the call. There's a knock on in there. Well, just as they take advantage of a Northern Brothers error, Waitemata cough one up of their own, and now they put themselves back under pressure. The roller coaster that is this game continues.
Not the ideal start, Corey.
So Robinson shuffles it on to Phi, and that was just about a mix-up there between the two centres coming across. Phi now. Campbell now dances back in field. Fruin to Phi. Phi goes straight and hard, burrows low. Great defense from Waitemata. Ball's loose, that'll be a knock-on. And knock-on is the call. Thought for a minute there they may have got the strip call, but referee Tamador on the spot to make the call, and it is a knock-on. Phi, he hit the line hard and strong, and felt if he hadn't knocked that ball on, he may well have been over the try line as well.
Waitemata with the feed.
So Seagulls to pack down 10 metres out from their own line. The Aiatoa tasked with the first carry. Maya Brown. Folomu. They've gone 35 metres so far. Waitemata making pretty good yardage on the footy. Folomu now. Little change of direction. Pre-contact. Now it goes out the back, and there might be space on the edge here
dummy.
now. And there's a little show and a little go from Leo Tupulolo. Ball comes loose, and this will be a handover to Northern Brothers, who had ideas of going down the other end of the park. But promising stuff there from Waitemata. It broke down in the end, but it did look for a minute there like it may have developed. And in fact, it was Via Fainu who made the little break there, named in the number 3 jersey, a late swap with the man initially named in the centres.
On the line! On the line, Waitemata!
Waitemata, on the line! On the line! On the line! Good. Hit it. Out!
That's good. Play on.
Now 40! Must wait! Hold! Go, one.
So the Northern Brothers now work the ball out, 35 out from the line. Both of these two teams coughing up errors early in the opening exchanges of this second half, which has just kept the game neatly in the balance so far. Here's Vetti, who will straighten things up. Tackled well, though. Northern Brothers lead 22 points to 16. 47 minutes gone here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers, our first game of the year. Robinson goes to the line and gets decked. Taken to ground. Davies clears the ruck. Goes high off the boot of Mita. A tester here for Waitemata. Play on is the call, and now they go up through the middle of the park, and it's this man again, Nano Falkafa. He's just about been the best player on the park today for Waitemata. Off the bench, he's done some real damage. Ball loose. Great contact from Northern Brothers. This will be a knock-on. And the Brothers will regain possession. Well, Troy, just as any team sort of starts to build momentum in the second half, they seem to come up with an error. A really poor start from both teams, who no doubt would have discussed ball economy and just slowing things down and maintaining possession in the second half.
Yeah, both teams will be showing a bit of frustration around that, and I think they just need a little bit of patience. And as we see, probably, I don't know, maybe half a dozen scrums have been packed down for this game. Northern Brothers get the feed, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with this next set of 6.
So Robinson with the feed. He's got Fai as his first receiver off the scrum. Such a powerful ball carrier as John Fai. Been very good today. 40 metres out from the line. They trail by 6.
Yeah, trying to use the sideline over there. You can hear the call. Managed to stay in.
Finau taking the ground. Gets to the play the ball. Goes out the back. Now Vetti straightens things up. Doesn't he take some tackling? 2 in there and eventually taking the ground. 35 out from the line. Now they dart out via Houston, who left the field earlier with a eye injury or perhaps a knock to the nose. He appears to have shaken that off and is back to it. And the play the ball. There is no one there to collect. Vetti was the nearest man to it. And that is a heads-up play from Aaron Tago to dive on that footy and regain possession. You don't see that too often. And again, that I think just comes down to a lapse of concentration there from the Northern Brothers. So Waitemata now tasked with carrying it out of their own end. They're 30 out from the line. Houston joins in on the tackle. Falumu. This Waitemata Seagulls team, they were 7th in the competition last year, part of that 3-way tie for the final playoff positions. They got through on points difference in the end for exiting in the first week of the finals. Bring in the likes of Gage Cash this year, Quest Campbell, Vincent Leota. There's a high one, a testing one as well. There's plenty of Waitemata jerseys in the frame. Mita picks it up, and now he may be into a little bit of open space. Needs to be careful with that sideline quickly presenting itself, and does so. Heads back infield. The other of the wingers, Henry Arcoy, the East Coast Bays junior. Good leg drive that time, takes him up over halfway. Campbell jumps out and then hands off to Vetti, who puts on the little goose step. You're not fooling anyone with that one, mate. Everyone knows where you're going on that particular play, Big Harry.
Oh, I backed you, mate.
Davies now joins in, and look at this. They're getting some quick play. The ball's now Northern Brothers, starting to get a bit of a roll on. Houston clears the ruck. He will engage the defenders. Kicks in behind. Ball's loose. Cleaned up by Waitemata. No advantage, the call. And this will be a Waitemata ball here. Knock on off the hand of Houston is the call.
Both sides are guilty of handling errors as we kick into the second half there, and the referee's blowing the whistle for time off. Big shout out to our major sponsors, Crown Lift Trucks, major sponsors for the ARL Fox Championship.
Are you stretching or are you injured?
And of course, SAS Sporting Apparel for the Fox Premiership.
Player going off in back play here is Harry Vetti. And he is nursing a considerable limp as well, so that'll call for a reshuffle of the forward pack, you would think.
May have pulled a hamstring from that little goose step earlier.
That's why props aren't meant to do it, isn't it, Troy?
We invented it, my mate.
Spoken like a true front rower, even if you think you are a halfback.
Greg Five, who's the halfback, mate.
So this scrum to pack down, and it will be out of the hands of Birmingham Campbell. Tupo involved in the tackle again that time, told to clear the ruck. There's good contact out of the line, but they get a little bit of second phase going here now, and will look to create something down this right-hand side. There's Fainu. Back to the middle of the park now. Can't be long until Waitemata get their starting bookends back into it, and that will again change the way they operate through the middle of the park. They were really effective in those opening exchanges. They get to the kick, and it's via Birmingham Campbell. Cleaned up by Mita. Returns it nicely. He's been nice and safe at the back, has Carlos Mita in this game. He's a worker in the Navy. Comes from the Navy Dolphins club, as we see a nice little run up the middle from Royd and Campbell. Carlos Mita, a number of the armed forces personnel in these squads. Of course, that coming back to the relationship with the Navy Dolphins as part of that three-way merger. Ball comes loose, and that'll be a knock-on. And it's been a long, long time since we've seen a completed set in attacking territory at least. I know Waitemata got through that last one there, but in good ball situations, these two teams guilty of really letting themselves down in this second spell.
Yeah, you can hear the Northern Brothers wanting to up the level, and I think whoever ups tempo for the remaining minutes in the game is certainly going to go a long way to probably taking this one out. 22-16.
So back into it we go. He's a carry off the back for Waitemata. Maybe Tony Salingi back on the field. It is. And then to Lekasa. So the two starting front rowers back on the park, and well, that wasn't the start Lekasa was hoping for. He spills the ball that time and hands it over. But this is really, really starting to become a serious issue for both of these two teams. They just cannot control possession right now. And you get the feeling the first team to switch on and just start to control things, complete a few sets, it's likely going to be them who goes on with it in the final 20 minutes or so of this one. The Northern Brothers lead 22 points to 16. 54 and a half minutes gone here at the Ranui Domain. And the scrum to pack down smack bam on halfway. Vale feeds it, and then off the back of the scrum comes Max Watts, and now they break down the right-hand side. Campbell into open space. Campbell with one to beat the fullback coming across. Campbell gets the fend on him. There it is. It's a try in the corner, and it is Royd and Campbell who does it. Had the fullback Mahi to beat, put the fend on him, and dots down in the far right corner here at Ranui Domain to extend the lead for the Northern Brothers.
Action replay, courtesy of Crown Lift Trucks. Ball fed into the scrum here. They probably teed this up. Maybe a move from training. Straight off the back of the scrum. One man out off him, the half. Creates that winger to bring him in. Just enough room for this guy to put the turbo jets on. And at that point, just had to show enough clean speed to get him all the way through to the SAS upright flag post in the corner. Thank you very much.
Did well to stay in play at the end there as well as he put the fend on. Just lost the balance a little bit, but did really nicely to finish the corner. He set one up earlier with that flick pass we've been going on about, and then scores one himself. Having a good day on the right flank is Royden Campbell, the East Coast Bays junior. Mentioned earlier he's represented Harbour at touch as well, and you can see why. He's got that really good presence on the ball. And he will attempt to convert his own try. Hasn't made it easy on himself. Right up against the touchline here at the residential end of Ranui Domain. So 10 points the gap, and this one to make it 12 and just give them, well, a little comfort, although the way this game is going, you're just not sure what's going to come out in the final quarter of the match. Steps in, strikes it okay, but it's away to the left, and the score will remain Northern Brothers 26, Drainco Waitemata Seagulls 16. 56 and a half minutes gone here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship qualifiers. Remember, the top 4 teams at the end of this qualifying series will advance, be promoted to the Fox Championship, joining the bottom 4 teams from the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, all part of the exciting new format that the Auckland Rugby League has brought in for 2019. Full details of that and an explanation video can be found on aucklandleague.co.nz. We'll also be posting that one up on our social media platforms throughout the year as well. Waitemata, ball on the tee, prepare to get us back underway. And they're offside from the kickoff. Well, that is a kick in the guts. And now Northern Brothers with the chance to really set up camp down this end of the park. It's only a 10-point lead they hold, but you just get the feeling they're really starting to tighten their grip on this contest. They'll be in no hurry here as Robinson prepares to kick this for touch. Puts it safely into touch, just to the left of our commentary box down here on the ground.
Big thank you to the Waitemata Seagulls volunteers this morning down here for all your work.
So Josh Fye takes it forward, gets to a pretty quick play of the ball as well. And they'll work it back through the middle of the park via Barn, who's on for his second stint of the game. Houston, backdoor to Robinson. Meter on his shoulder, will step back into traffic. Here's Davies, bumping his way to a few extra meters. East Coast Bays man. Houston to Robinson. Robinson, the show, the go, the step. Robinson will go close. They'll get the penalty as well. And it's all playing into Northern Brothers' hand right now, although that looks like it's going to go the way of Waitemata, in
Seagulls,
fact.
yeah.
So my apologies. That may have been an obstruction that I've missed there. And there it is, the call from referee Tamarua. There was a decoy run there, which was ruled to be an infringement, and Waitemata led off the hook now. They only trail by 10, and with 20 minutes to go, there's time to work their way back into this contest. Slow play the ball. Houston doing his best to just delay that play at the bottom of the ruck, and now here is Tony Salingi. Promotes some second fave, brings Lord into the action. He takes him up over the 40. Lecasa. In fact, it's Salingi again. Boy, he's been busy. Miss out Lecasa. Go to the right edge where Birmingham Campbell hands off to Fainu.
Full count.
Ball loose, and knock on is the call. So once again, Waitemata fail to take advantage. Work their way nicely into field position there and then come up with an error at the end of it. It's Fainu who spilled the ball. And all of a sudden, we've got players dropping like flies. There's been a bad dose of cramp, I think, go across the park. Put a tupo down on the ground. And a few boys, no doubt, feeling the effects of first game of the season, Troy. And you can do as much fitness as you like, but as you know, nothing matches game fitness, does it?
Absolutely. And, you know, this game's been really physical today. Some of these hits, you know, you can hear them here from the commentary box, but just not that. I think it's also the way that both teams play is they're not just hitting them, they're wrestling them, they're fighting them in the tackle, and there's a lot of energy being smelt out there. So there's going to be a few boys sore tonight, and I dare say there'll be ice trucks getting delivered all over the place.
Dominant tackle that time from Waitemata, who, to their credit, have been pretty good defensively. I know they've conceded 26 points, but their work in the middle of the park in particular has been admirable. They have worked hard, got there in numbers, and some of the contact has been spot on. But unfortunately, put themselves under pressure with handling errors and attack, and then off the back of it, probably been exposed on their line a couple of times. Northern Brothers now work the ball forward, and this is a good carry from the number 10, Fihoko. A Waitemata Junior himself up against his former club. Houston clears the ruck and then brings Josh Fye into the action. Fye makes a couple of meters and bumps his way to the 40. Go back and do it again, says referee Tamarua, and that is exactly what they will do. So Fye to play the ball. Houston out the back. Robinson. He will go high, Robinson. And a real tester here for Mahi at the back. Pressure coming down. He spills it. Ball is loose. This will be a Northern Brothers ball here. And with 17 and a half to go, Northern Brothers can put a huge dent in Waitemata here if they can find more points. It's 10 points that's the gap right now. And you just get the feeling could crush the remaining character or enthusiasm that Waitemata have right now.
On your solo, Waitemata.
No. He was okay. He was behind the table. All right, hit it. Closer. I'm going short. Feed the ball. Feed the ball. Quickly.
So they're set heavy to the right here. Robinson, the man to feed. Goes to Vale, goes to Mita. They could have numbers here, Northern Brothers. Mita takes the tackle. Tago joining in that time to take the fullback to ground. 11 metres out from the line. Sloppy at dummy half.
Should call a penalty.
Offside is the call. Campbell wants to tap and go, so more possession coming up here for Northern Brothers, and it's been all them in the last 5 minutes.
Number 9.
Waitemata being asked to do a lot of defensive work.
Go for the 2. We go for the 2.
And they're going to take the 2 here, are the Northern Brothers.
That's smart.
So Robinson puts the 2 fingers up and says, we'll take the break and try and stretch this lead out to 12.
How much time on the clock, mate?
63 gone, so there's still plenty of time to get the points, but Northern Brothers, I think, a fairly good tactic here just to calm things down a bit. So Royden Campbell, it's not the easiest of kicks. Not really a spot where you take a lot of kicks either. We do often find that with some of the weird distances that can be required on these penalties. Of course, it changes everything, regardless of the fact if you've practiced from this angle. Campbell strikes it. Away is the call, so they'll get the ball back via a dropout here anyway, which will be from the 20. So
Grubber.
scrappy restart. Mita cleans it up easily, and I don't think that came off the boot quite how they intended there. Houston. Fihuka was taken to ground. Real chance to perhaps put the game away here for the Northern Brothers. Davies off the back fence is taken down nicely in a low tackle by Falumu. Now Houston to Vale. Vale now turns back on the inside to his bench man, Fai. It's building nicely here for the Northern Brothers. How long can Waitemata hold on? They've hardly touched the ball in the last 10 minutes. Prop to prop again it is. Straight and hard from Isaac Barn. Last tackle coming up. Robinson turns back to Fai. John Fai this time, but Waitemata stoic on their line. That is great defence from the home team. And they keep themselves in this contest. 26-16, the Northern Brothers lead. 66 minutes gone at Ranui Domain. Pretty impressive goal line stand at that time, Troy, and they had every right to be tired and perhaps come up with an error on that occasion.
Yeah, and there's a couple of boys still down on their haunches, so they'll be looking for a few runners just to get them a wee bit of space here and hopefully create an opportunity.
Tough work coming up here for the Seagulls. Especially when you meet line speed like that. Northern Brothers doing all the right things right now, just trying to pin them down this end of the park. Davies is involved in that tackle. Tago to the line, looking for that little half gap. They need an explosive play here, do Waitemata. Who will it come from? Down the left side they come. Mahi must have thought about the offload that time. Here's a penalty to help them. Davies not sure of that one. I think the offender was in fact Solomone Finau, although Davies was on the ground. So they'll kick for touch here, Waitemata. This needs to be a good kick. chew off as many meters as they possibly can and just relieve themselves of a bit of that work. They'll start smack on halfway.
Not a bad run.
Told to go back and do it again. And you could very clearly hear the match officials there communicating. Wait until my call. So they got nothing to complain about that time, Waitemata. Here's Tony Salingi. Falumu off a quick play of the ball now. He's got players going with him. Falumu just about accelerates through a gap, and Mita is the man there to stop him about 15 out from the line. And a dropped ball. Just as it starts to build for Waitemata, Dom Falumu with a good little run and then mucks up the play of the ball. And that is a killer. You can only imagine how Coach Mahara Campbell must be feeling here. They have had plenty of opportunities today, Waitemata, but so many errors in good ball situations. And that time, well, he's had a pretty good game, has Dom Falumu, but concentration just not up to it. And a little fumble at the play of the ball. It's all it takes.
No, are you coming in? Okay. Yeah, got it, Kevin. Hold. Out.
Vale feeds the scrum.
Knock on.
And a knock on at the back of the scrum as well. So, well, it's been a day for it, and to some degree you expect this kind of thing in round one, although given the conditions and the field, the state that it's in, Troy, you would have expected the handling to be a little better today.
Yeah, I think, Northern Brothers did really well in the first half. They only had one handling error. We got into the second 40, and they've certainly racked up a couple of double digits here. Waitemata, they just, not completing their six. A lot of handling errors went against them, even with the penalties they were given, not getting the ball out across the line. Just made it extremely hard as they're on the attack here now.
So what that error does do is present Waitemata with another chance as we head into the final 10 minutes here. They trail by 10, 26-16. The Brothers lead. To the right edge, they will come, and here's a hat-trick. Well, there you go. Nano Falkafa off the bench. That is his third try of the game. He has been the best seagull on the park. And he gets rewarded that time. Another try down that right-hand side. And Waitemata, they're back in this.
Ground lift trucks action replay. Looking for the fast play the ball here. Still reminiscing over the best seagull on the park. Great call there from young Corey. And did extremely well there just to step outside that first defender, split them, and enough momentum to carry him across the try line. And I dare say he won't be buying a green tea tonight. Boys love it. Best haircut on the field too, just quietly.
So 6-point ball game, kick to come. It's going to be a one-score game either way. Boy Tepulolo to attempt this one, the 17-year-old. He's a junior at the club. He's played for Richmond and Te Aratu in the past. Okay, off the boot, hits the uprights, and it's away. So 6 points remains the difference.
I had a quick text at half time. Sorry I didn't get across to you unless you did it, Corey. Pakuranga up 18 points to 4 against Papatoe. Thank you, Patrick.
Northern Brothers taking their time to get back to halfway. I would be too if I sat on a 6-point lead inside the final 10 minutes.
A lot of conversation going on before kickoff. Is that out?
Out on the full. And comfortably out on the full. Well, this game just keeps on giving. And now Waitemata will get the chance to go down and tie things up. It'll be a penalty from halfway. Quite often you see a tap taken here, just given the sheer distance that you've got to kick the ball from the mark it's on. And I expect Waitemata may well do just that. They will. So the tap and the go, they're into it. Here come the Seagulls. They haven't led at all so far in this match, but have wrestled their way into contention inside the minutes that matter. with about 7.5 to go. Here's the hat-trick man. Taking the ground, Falumu rushes to dummy half. Northern Brothers need to defend their line here. Tipululu clears the ruck. Shuffles play on. This is Lekasa. Right in front of the uprights. Falumu jumps out. Dom Falumu offload as well. They play it on now. Lekasa, he should score here. Lekasa, is that ball down? I think it is. We're going to wait for confirmation. Yes, it is. Waitemata, they score under the post. We should have a tied ball game here with 7 minutes to play.
Unbelievable football action. We wait for the Crown Lift Trucks action replay. Some great ball handling here to get this try off the ground as well. Managed to keep it alive there. Just drew that defender in. And one of the big bookends. Had a little bit of work to get across the line. And when he gets up, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the Stephen Park dead set across the try line. A lot of celebration going on. And this is going to turn into a real cliffhanger now. So this kick's going to be super important. And it's not one you want to miss in front of the SAS uprights.
Huge, huge kick coming up here to tie the ball game up. Kick's good. We're locked up at 26 points apiece with 6 minutes to play here at the Ranui Domain. Well, what a way to start the season, Troy. We had some rough patches in this game. The ball handling hasn't been the best, but for pure entertainment value, it's all on.
And I dare say the Seagulls are pumped up now. They've certainly got the next lung of wind and ready to rock and roll. Body languages have changed right across the park.
And how important will the home crowd be here? No doubt they will become louder and louder as we get into the final few minutes here. Waitemata will get first chance to go down that end of the park. Remembering mistakes down this end.
Absolutely, yeah.
So important now with the field goal effector. Ball possession,
great
a
run.
must. Salingi, that is brilliant. Their starting props have been excellent today, Waitemata. And it was Lekasa who scored that try to bring them back into this one. There is an audacious play out wide. And, well, if they're feeling nervous, they're not showing it, Waitemata. Very keen to play football. Here's Lord. Lines it up. He was a try scorer in the first half. Appeals for a high tackle. Not forthcoming. Lord will get to a quick play of the ball. Here come the Seagulls now. Falumu spots up a little half gap out of dummy half. He's taken down 15 out from the line. Penalty as well. Do they take the 2? Surely you have a look. There's going to be about 4 minutes to play by our count, and surely Waitemata look to the posts here. 2 is the call.
There it is.
So the penalty to be attempted. And it's not going to be an easy one. At a guess, you would say 10 or 15 from inside the touchline here, Troy. It'll be from 18 metres out.
He's a right-footed kicker, so it's on his natural side as he shapes up on the tee. Bit of tension mounts now around the park. Really cool to see. First game up for the season.
What a contest it has been, and you sort of feel sorry for whoever will end up on the losing end of this one. That is, if there is a loser, of course. The draw an option in this one. No golden point or extra time in regular season games. So, boy, Tepulolo now with a very important kick early in the season. Strikes it. Flags are up. Waitemata lead with 3 minutes to go here at the Ranui Domain. 28 points to 26. This is the first time they have led in this match. But what a comeback. What about the character of this team? At times they trailed by as many as 10 or 12 points, but just refused to go away. And you would have to say the introduction of the starting props again, Troy. I thought
Yeah,
Lakasa,
really so,
Lakasa and Tony Salingi, they have had some brilliant carries and really sparked Waitemata back to life. But it's not over yet. Northern Brothers, providing things go to plan, they'll get another use of the ball yet. And Waitemata, for the time being, just have to make sure there are no errors. Wrap that ball up, get to your kick, and then trust your defence. Salingi will do just that here. Thought about the offload and then wisely thought better of it. They're 30 out from the line here, appealing for a penalty. That is a very slow play of the ball. In fact, slow doesn't do it justice. There's a player asleep in the ruck there. Now they come off for a one-out carry. This is Lakasa and a high shot. Well, the wheels are falling off the wagon now for Northern Brothers, who have been in control for the majority of this game. By our count, there are less than 10 minutes to go. 2 minutes, I should say. 2 points is the gap. Waitemata will take their time here. They'll find any excuse to stall.
Jump on side. No, go back wide. Over there.
And now Northern Brothers have gone quiet. Lots of chat coming out of the Seagulls camp.
Less than a minute and a half to play. The kick is put into touch. Fighting for first points of the year. And Waitemata, if they complete this set, that will just about get them home here.
And that's the call. This one's for George. You can hear all of the boys firing up out there. No matter where you are, mate. The next couple of minutes are all for you.
Lakasa tasked with the first carry, and how big will that factor be here for Waitemata? How big has it been in this game as they have bravely fought back? Doing so, no doubt, with their club stalwart who passed away this week firmly in mind. It's one-out stuff here from the Seagulls. You would expect nothing else. Our clock will not be perfectly in line with that of the referee, ladies and gentlemen, but near enough, and we have got 30 seconds left on the clock. Folumu goes one out. Here is Falkafa.
Strong day.
Brilliant carry of the ball. Folumu, the dummy half. It's a slow play of the ball. Goes out the back. They're shaping for a field goal. I don't know why. It goes over to give them a 3-point lead, but that seemed like a risky play to go with there at the end of the game. And what it does do is give Northern Brothers a chance at the restart. They could go short and regather. That was a
Well, they're racing back for the kickoff.
bizarre play, to be
And there it
fair.
is.
Sorry to go in the background. It's not going to matter. Waitemata win. They do so in the honour of their fallen club stalwart, George Rogers. And the Seagulls pick up their first points of the year. What a match. They led just once, and that was with 5 minutes to go when they kicked a penalty to take what would end up being the winning lead. Tago ends a field goal in the dying minutes to make it a 3-point ball game. They win this one, 29 points to 26 over the Northern Brothers. A very short break for us before we go down field side to talk to both of the captains and get their reaction from the match.
What a fantastic game of football here today, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for Corey to catch up with the captains now out on the field. And we're just getting our sound and audio up and running. Cameraman Joseph is going live. And the game played in such fabulous spirit here today for a wonderful memory from a man who was a stalwart in the game of Auckland Rugby League. Final score, 29 points to Waitemata Seagulls versus Northern Brothers 26. And fair to say, Seagulls only pulled the score back in the last few minutes of the game to take it out and to cap it off with a fabulous drop goal.
We're now joined by the captain of the Waitemata Seagulls, Gage Cashwell. Gage, what a game. You didn't lead until about 5 minutes to go. Got the job done in the end, mate. What did you make of it?
Yeah, the boys hung in there well at the end, and yeah, got the grind. We grinded it to the end, and yeah, came away with the win, which is good.
You were behind by as many as 10 or 12
There's one
points at
there.
periods throughout that game. How big was the memory of George Rogers in spurring that comeback?
Oh, massive. He's a club legend down here. Oh, yeah, that's what got the boys over the line at the end. Yeah, he's massive down here.
You guys probably had a few concentration lapses through that game, but I thought your starting props were excellent today, and they probably changed the game when they came back on. The Cusser and Tony Salingi.
Yeah, no, they performed really well. Good punch down the middle. Yeah, came through for us at the end. It was good.
Round one, come from behind victory. How good does that feel?
Awesome as. Yeah, pumped, stoked about it.
Right, Gage, thanks for joining us on ARL TV. All the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
But that's what we especially if the score is so close.
Okay, now joined by Stephen Robinson, captain of the Northern Brothers. Well, Stephen, that's a hard one to take, mate. In control for all of that game except for the final 5 minutes.
Yeah. But in saying that, they did get their roll on really well, and I think we gave them too much ball, especially in our red zone. So yeah, big ups to them. They keep rolling forward, and our boys will just go back to the drawing board, and I think we'll learn from it.
Seemed like you were fairly comfortable periods in that second half. Where did it sort of fall away in the end?
I think we just kept pushing too much to the middle, and they kept running their big guys out wide. Yeah, that's what I've seen from playing on the field.
Although you were up for the whole game, did you always get the feeling that Waitemata were probably going to finish strong and you were never really safe?
Yeah, in this competition, it's really close. If you turn up on the day, you'll get the win. And I think that's and I think when you have lapses like that, they get up. They just get the energy up, and those big boys keep rolling.
Plenty of positives to take out of that one though, and build on for next week.
Yeah, heaps of positives. He's positive. We have a young side. A lot of them are new to the game, and for us, it's just back to the drawing board, and we'll just keep going for the rest of the comp.
Stephen, thanks for joining us, mate. Commiserations today, but all the best for the rest of the season.
Just one more thing. Just a shout out to my mate Kerry Burt from D3 for sponsoring us. Thank you.
Excellent. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So that wraps up our coverage here from Ranui Domain. Now, there's no live stream next week. Keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz for full details of our next broadcast game. But for now, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in a few weeks' time.